this got nominated for a bunch of stuff.
2 Oscars. I like them apples.
It's pretty good.
Best lead actor, best supporting actress.
Marissa.
She's our girl.
She's our girl.
She did lose to Penelope Cruz for Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Makes sense.
Don't know that, but that is a Woody Allen movie. I don't think that's correct. I'm sorry. You accepted it at face value for a second, and then Mickey lost to Sean Penn in Milk. I preferred the sequel, Eggnog. Oh,
the
God.
Christmas version of it.
Yeah, of Harvey Milk's biography, the Christmas edition.
Here comes the theme!
Hello and welcome to the Critical Breakdown, the podcast where we start at the bottom of Rotten Tomatoes and work our way to 100% fresh. I'm Max.
I'm Dave.
Dave.
Yeah, I'm trying a new thing.
Okay.
And today we're talking The Wrestler, rated 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Bang, bang.
And it's our audience pick, much to Max's chagrin.
No.
All right.
Mr. Two-Pick Tenet over here.
How dare you?
Yeah, so we had our vote. You guys picked The Wrestler. It won.
Yeah.
It was my original pick, but some paperwork got jostled.
Yeah. You know what, Max? Let's stop beating around the bush. We just watched YouTube Rewind 2018, and we were snubbed.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Of the long list of snubs, we were definitely on it.
Yeah.
I recognized maybe 7 people in that Rewind.
Yeah, I think I had a couple more than you, but suck it. But
yeah, I mean, with more of the console and PC gaming like streamers out there, you probably are more up to par on that.
Wow.
Because I'm behind on my gaming.
I thought I was referring to the makeup tutorials.
Yeah, the MUAs out there, the makeup artist. You're big on that?
Wait, what is it?
Oh, I just said MUAs, but it's makeup artist. MUA. Everyone abbreviates. I'm an MUA.
I hate that.
Yeah, they don't say MUAs. I just said that. I hope they don't say that. Jesus. The mukbangs. I know you're big on mukbang. You have your own dedicated channel to it.
I don't get it because
Scott Eats. I didn't teach you anything.
No, well, I didn't know the term mukbang and stuff. So you did.
I guess that's true.
Teach me that.
You made it sound like I taught you how to do mukbangs.
No, but we have before. It was probably just me like chewed into the microphone on the pod.
You told me you were gonna heavy chew into the mic.
Yeah,
but
I said, what was I eating?
It might have been the eclairs because there was an eclair run of episodes.
Yeah. But it sounds vile.
Yeah, you were like all in on it until I played it back for you. Then you were like, I never want to hear that again.
Yeah. So I don't get how that's a thing.
Yeah, me either.
You know.
But yeah, there's a lot of people that apparently are famous enough for that on YouTube.
Yeah,
it was interesting.
Yeah, they could have slid us in easily. You know?
I don't know what it's. Who's that video for?
The YouTube Rewind video.
Yeah,
I think it's for people who watch a lot of YouTube to be like, oh, I recognize that person. Like, oh, there's Carly. You know, from whatever.
From iCarly.
From iCarly. Yeah. I think that's the market, but. I think maybe it's part of like YouTube's whole thing with like 2018. It's just like these YouTube personalities or tastemakers, or they call them influencers. Tastemakers. That was pretty good.
That's better than influencer.
But it's like they're supposed to be like celebrity status, but they're really not. I don't think.
No,
like,
they're internet celebrity.
Yeah, they're internet celebrity, but
best.
Bringing them all into a studio doesn't feel.
Yeah, the real ones are kind of like mini celebs now for the people who have reached like top tier, and you had a couple of those in there for sure.
Yeah.
And you have your people like the dude who had like the boxing match, who everyone hates. Those brothers like Logan Paul or something. Those guys is that the boxing match guy? They weren't in it, I'm saying, but I don't know if they were.
Those Jake Paul and Logan.
Yeah,
Paul?
those dudes are achieving.
I didn't know they were brothers. I thought that was a coincidence.
I figured they're brothers. I don't really know. But they're achieving out of like YouTube internet.
It's usually because like of a notable news story, like when they make fun of someone who committed suicide.
Yeah, and then you have what's his face, the streamer who is always being controversial, but I don't know if he actually does anything controversial. What's his name? Like PewDiePie or something?
Yeah, PewDiePie. Was he in this?
I honestly don't even know what he looks like. I just hear about him from different like stories.
Yeah.
So you have those kind of people. And you have these, which were all,
maybe very popular channels, but they're all like niches. And we both realized watching that we apparently aren't very mainstream.
No.
Like there weren't a lot of NBA highlights in there.
I was like, we're all the D&D thought leaders, you know?
Where's the MTG game design podcast?
Where's those 2 channels that make like 45-minute videos on Tolkien's writing that I watch?
And of course, where are those 2 guys who did a Critical Breakdown?
Nowhere to be found.
They could have put us in there.
We were free, YouTube.
You know, like we would have been cheaper than Will Smith.
We should probably pivot to video then.
Do you think Will Smith got paid for that?
I don't know, man. Sometimes I think Will Smith just shows up and does things.
Will Smith's had an interesting
Sometimes he channels so much I'm happy to be here that I don't know if he's actually asking for money. I think maybe people just give him money.
I think part of it is like I think he really achieved that like super duper A-list status by being like a likable black guy. Like the kind of black guy who like racist people could be like, he's a nice one.
Yeah.
If we're just being honest about it.
You're not wrong.
You know, like in the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of had to double down on it maybe.
Maybe, but also you got to assume at one point that maybe he's just really nice.
Yeah, so no, I think like, I'm sure he's really nice, but
it's
interesting. You have to go out of your way to do certain things, like the YouTube Rewind intro.
Well, it's a way to stay relevant with your fans.
He doesn't do all that many movies anymore, right?
Yeah, but I think he's had a vlog this past year.
He did start
so I think
vlogging.
I think for him that's like
maybe that's what we need. You know what, Max? I'm gonna try something. I'm going to record my first vlog episode right now on the air. How do you do it?
I think that's your answer.
Video. Okay.
You can't just record me.
Hey, Vlogosphere. This is your boy Scoots coming at you live from the Critical Breakdown booth. I'm here with your boy Max.
What up?
We're recording. You're going to hear this in the episode. All right. Got to go. Fart at you later.
You got to post that now.
That was pretty good.
You got to post it. First vid.
Where do I post it?
YouTube, dude.
Can I post on our channel?
Yeah.
How?
I'll show you how.
You know what? I really hit the ground running here.
Guys, keep an eye out for Scott's Critical Breakdown vlog. We will post it.
Did you note how I ended that?
Fart you later? Yeah, no, that was good. That was good.
Well, man, now I'm a shoo-in for YouTube Rewind 2019.
Hit the ground running. We'll be there next year.
Yeah. You know what, Max? I'm doing this for you.
Let's make a promise to our listeners right now.
Oh, fuck.
Whatever happens in 2019,
we will be in
the
Rewind.
YouTube Rewind.
Even if it takes... No, I was going to make a very distasteful
We've already
joke.
discussed Scott standing in the middle of a Walmart yodeling at top of his volume. Top of his yodeling voice.
And you know what? That is top of my volume.
Top of the volume to you.
We also determined that I can't yodel, though.
You did. I never said that.
Wait, can I yodel? Man. You know what? We're already having fun.
We are.
Someone's got to really wrestle us back to our subject matter. Oh, God. That was good. Should that be episode 2 of the vlog?
Yeah.
Should I record another vlog?
If you want, man.
Yeah, dude. Let's do this.
Episode 2 vlog. Coming at you live.
How do I do this? I just did it. Oh, that's a picture.
God. New lock screen, I'm hoping.
I'll send it to you to be your lock screen. Hey, everyone. It's your boy Scoots coming at you with vlog episode number 2.
Dose.
I'm here with your boy Max.
What up?
You probably liked that 60-second ago episode, so I'm hitting you with another 14 seconds now. Fart at you later, YouTube. There we go.
You have to post these.
I'll post. You'll have to show me how to post them legitimately. But then we'll post them.
Good.
All right, enough of this 2018 vlog bullshit, Max.
All right, it's done.
What's the plot synopsis for the rest?
We went straight in.
Yeah, we're done.
Discussing what we're watching?
No.
Damn, I had some good ones.
All right, no, I mean, we can. It felt like a natural, like, let's just boom right in there.
When you're hot, you're hot. I don't want to take away from the fire, you know?
I mean, no one could if they wanted to. This city's gonna burn.
Yeah, we can do The Wrestler.
Yeah, dude. You've been itching to talk about this.
All right. Lead me in again. Lead you in again?
I had such a natural one before.
You're the...
Max, what's the plot synopsis for The Wrestler?
After a heart attack, an aged professional wrestler must retire, but finds his quest for a new life outside the ring a dispiriting struggle.
Ooh. You know that this is a classy movie, an artful movie, when the when the summary is that verbose.
Dispiriting.
Yeah.
We've had more verbose before. Some of the science fiction ones we have are like,
yeah.
in the year 2019, and then there's like 45 minutes of explanation.
I like that your version of science fiction is the year 2019.
Well, me and like 80 years before me. So.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It used to just be in 1999.
Do you think Blade Runner 2019 would have been as good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
if everything else is the same, but it was Blade Runner 2019.
It could have been.
I feel like it would be worse.
Well, it depends if you're going with the original timeline or not.
Yeah.
Because of the original timeline, what year was it set in?
2018.
There you go.
I made that part up.
Yeah, I got you there. I got
2025, I think.
Yes, it'd be a prequel.
Oh, whole new movie.
There you go.
Whole new world.
Whole new world.
Which, speaking of a whole new world, Darren Aronofsky just announced going to be doing the new Aladdin.
Is that true?
No.
It's not true.
But Darren Aronofsky did direct The Wrestler.
And that's our movie we're talking about today.
Yeah. Max, what's the plot? Well, shit, we're stuck.
Help us.
No, Darren Aronofsky did direct this.
This is our Polish episode.
Oof. Darren You say it.
Darren Aronofsky directed this film.
He did.
He did.
Yeah.
It was written by Robert Siegel.
Did he write anything else?
He wrote The Founder.
Oh, I liked The Founder.
He might have directed it too. I don't remember, but
it kind of flopped.
I heard a lot of people liked it, but nobody saw it.
Yeah, I think there might even have been a lawsuit against the Weinstein Company for it, because the Weinstein Company was holding it to be like one of those late Oscar push movies, and then they were just kind of like, well, fuck it. It doesn't look like it's going to win, so we're just not going to release it. And I think it came out in like way less theaters than its promised run or something. It was something like that.
They've done that.
Yeah, they're notorious for it.
They were shady like that.
Yeah. Well, I get it to an extent.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
shrewd
business to the point of being like, what's it called? Cynical. Almost,
yeah, so. And when your business is to try and win Oscars especially, there's a lot of angling with release dates and theater runs and when to have stuff come out to be strategically award pushy or something. I don't know.
That's always I think that's why I'm so attracted to certain films that are like more crass and less designed for awards. Like I love myself a good cheesy film.
Okay.
Because I love films that aren't concerned with whether or not they win awards and just make like fun, good movies. That doesn't
for sure
just mean shitty movies, but like a film that just is existing to exist. Those always appeal to me in a certain way. Not saying that no one's like that or anything, but I do have like a soft spot. That's why I love some of those cheesy science fiction and action movies, and I can dig on some good
like
horror
Biodome.
Stuff. I did like Biodome when I was in 5th grade, but I haven't seen it since then.
That laid the seeds.
It had Kylie Minogue, so no complaints.
I thought it was just Minogue.
No.
No. This has Mickey Rourke.
It does, in a very, very awesome role.
Yeah. Was this because you had told me a little bit about Mickey's backstory? It's weird to just use one word for him because it's the name of my pug. But you had told me a bit about Mickey Rourke's backstory with how he had kind of a big fallout with addiction, or maybe
he's had his own
just alcoholism. Not to discredit alcoholism as a crippling disease, but the heart of my question was this his first film after a long absence from cinema?
I don't know.
When did Iron Man 2 come out? Well, this was just kind of a big resurgence for Mickey Rourke. Maybe he wasn't totally out of Hollywood, but he was certainly out of the limelight for a little while. And this was at least, and I can't even think of much he's been in lately where it's been like a real major role for him. But he had The Wrestler, and then after that he had like Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I think the first thing I really noticed him in, like on the recent side, was Sin City.
Yeah.
He played, I think, Marv in that. And it was it was a pretty memorable role in that movie of a lot of like ridiculous things. His character was kind of one of the more kind of top-notch like performances in there. For it wasn't just fun, but it kind of had some weight to it also. Sure. And I don't like love that movie, but it was kind of fun at the time. So I remember that in there. And then The Wrestler was kind of his big hey, wait a second moment.
And it's very fitting for him because the character that he plays is someone who they don't really go into his the character's past with too much detail, but he's clearly very embattled.
Yeah.
And washed up. So it's kind of fitting for Mickey Rourke to play that character. Because it sort of mirrors
obviously,
his life to an extent.
He probably felt some of his own life in there, like you said.
Yeah.
And I read that Darren Aronofsky really fought for him to get this role. Apparently, the studio was really pushing Nicolas Cage as this character.
Man, I can sort of picture that, but Nicolas Cage and Mickey Rourke have like opposite bodies.
Yeah, like trying to think of a really wrestler fit.
Yeah.
Nick Cage is very confusing.
They'd have to call him like Steve the Skeleton Smith or something.
Yeah. Old bony man.
Old bony man.
But then like I know he was going to play Superman at one point, Nick Cage, and I think he had a rubber suit, but he had to be more fit for that, I'm assuming, even just to wear the suit. But it wasn't like how these DC actors and Marvel actors get these abs now and stuff.
Yeah, but you can still fake it to an extent. Like Shazam is going to be played by Zachary Levi, who I'm sure has put in a lot to his body.
Yeah.
But look at Chuck, where his whole character is like, the goofy dork,
like a Best Buy employee type of thing. Yeah,
exactly.
And then you think of like, I mean, going once again off the superhero angle here, like Michael Keaton was fit, but not like cut. Yeah. In Batman, he was just kind of guy who takes care of himself.
Yeah, it's a good comparison. Like Michael Keaton's Batman versus Christian Bale's Batman.
Exactly.
The modern Batman is like a muscular, like ninja trained warrior. Yeah. Michael Keaton's Batman was a dork. Yeah, that's what I loved about it.
He did cardio. That's it.
Yeah, and he sat behind a bunch of like CRT TVs watching his parties.
Good stuff. But this is The Wrestler.
Yeah. What's the plot synopsis?
Mickey Rourke, you mentioned he did go on to be in Iron Man 2. Iron Man 2 as that Russian dude.
Yeah.
Whiplash was maybe his character's name?
I don't know if they ever officially called him Whiplash.
I remember he had a bird, and I think Mickey Rourke only signed on because he got a bird.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true, but that's a rumor I heard because he likes animals a lot, which I like about him.
Yeah, I like that too. We watched some good YouTube videos of him talking to like either PETA or like the Humane Society about like adopting dogs and how much has helped him.
He had like 4 chihuahuas that were just awesome and gross.
Yeah, they were very gross. I loved it. A lot of people didn't like Iron Man 2 at all, but I liked it. I still don't understand.
I've never revisited it. I remember feeling it was pretty anticlimactic, but I also really enjoyed. I had a huge, and I'm not saying I dislike her now, but I had a huge Scarlett Johansson crush at that time.
And that was her like
the intro to Black Widow was like mind blowing with her doing like flips and thigh grabs and
people
shit.
With thighs.
Yeah. That was way up my alley.
I mean that's really good. And like I like Sam Rockwell a lot, and I like Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was fine.
Like I said, I haven't seen it since theaters, but
I don't
hate it.
I'm a Tony Stark guy. I know you're not as much a Tony Stark guy.
I like to see Tony atone for his sins, and that was my main complaint with the further Iron Man films was he just kept doing the same sins.
Yeah, but I've always felt like he has had some good guilt going on, and
now
they've really shown it here lately.
Now I feel it.
Yeah.
The Wrestler.
Yeah. Max, what's the plot? You know what, Max? If I can't have the occasional aside, who am I?
No,
Max, who am I?
This is an aside show. People listen for the asides.
Yeah.
And we skipped what we've been watching, so we could fit in as many asides as
we watched YouTube Rewind, and we launched a vlog.
That's true. We recorded some vlogs. It's true. That's true.
We launched it.
All right.
I have to clear my throat. Thank you.
So, The Wrestler, like we mentioned, is about a washed-up wrestler.
Yeah. But it's more than just him.
Go on.
We're talking Marissa Tomei, a washed-up stripper.
Yeah. I don't know if the washed-up counts.
I think it kind of does because that's kind of the plot line for one of the plot lines for her character is we're introduced to Marissa Tomei's lovely Cassidy. Was Pam her real name?
Yeah.
And she's doing like a strip show for a bachelor party, and they're all just mocking her for being old.
Yeah.
And then maybe not the next time, but again later in the movie, same thing's happening, where she's being told she's like, "Get away from me! Like you're too old!" Like stuff like that.
It's weird.
And she appreciates Mickey Rourke's character for appreciating her.
It's true.
You know, it's nice to feel appreciated from time to time. Some people could stand to learn that lesson.
It's true. It's true. Pam Cassidy.
Yeah.
That character arc is interesting. I like where it ends with her.
Yeah.
I think it has a good come around to that plot
I like
line.
that she left at the end.
What's that?
I said I like that she left.
Yeah.
We're jumping far ahead with no details, but essentially there's a big fight that Mickey Rourke goes through that he shouldn't because he had a heart attack, but he's very dissatisfied with life outside the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting ready to fight, and Cassidy's there, and she's like, I'm here. Why do you think I'm here? And he's like, nobody cares about me. I have no family, et cetera, and leaves. She's real disappointed. She watches the fight, and then I'm glad she left.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
She's like, I don't have time for this. I got a family.
It's also she witnesses him telling everyone, like, you know, life's hard out there for him, but this is his family. This is where he needs to be.
Yeah.
So it's like, even after she confessed everything that she felt, he rejected her and took that on. Like, the wrestling was the only thing for him then.
Yeah.
But it's also like a death curse almost for him. Like
Definitely.
You can assume with the final shot of the movie that he dies there or later that night. Like, it's irrelevant.
It would be sadder if he didn't.
Exactly, but it's also like his outside life is dead beyond that. So if he somehow didn't die there, everything he has outside of the ring is dead.
Still dead. He's a dead man walking.
Yeah, so it's an interesting movie. I noticed I've seen this movie only twice. I saw it in theaters, and then I watched it now when we watched it. But
and you were planning on watching it a couple weeks ago, I know, when we watched The Babadook.
So the first time I watched it, there's tons of parallels, honestly, to my own life with my struggles with my father, which is like, you know about my dad. Jody, my wife, knows about it. Some of our listeners do. If they've seen it, they get it. But then also I noticed they talk about Jesus at one point, and there's a lot of weird biblical like parallels with how Jesus is treated, because they talk about the Passion of the Christ, the movie. She's like, you should see it. Right. And
doesn't he call him like a tough guy or whatever?
It's awesome.
She's like, oh, you got to see Passion of the Christ. And he's like, sounds like a real tough guy.
It's like a very simple throwaway conversation that like these two characters would have.
That's how I would describe like the characters from Face Off. If you were just describing Face Off to me, I'd be like, sound like a couple real tough guys. And he's talking about Jesus.
But
it's
played
by Jim Caviezel.
It's interesting because the whole film is someone like what's his name? Is it Randy? Randy the Ram Robinson?
Yes, but his real name is Robin.
Yeah, Robin Randowski, I think is his real name. He basically is sacrificing his body like the entire time, kind of what they do in The Passion of the Christ, but it's him continuously doing that throughout the entire film until he basically sacrifices himself for the enjoyment of the wrestlers, like the wrestler fans and stuff. Like, he has given himself to this life so much that he is literally gonna die for it. And I'm not saying he is Christ-like. I'm just saying there's a strong parallel between it.
They do even make the direct connection by saying like, oh, you have Jesus hair a couple times in the movie. Yeah, Cassidy says it at one point. That I think that's how Passion of the Christ comes up.
Okay.
And then when he's getting his hair done again, I think it came up again, or maybe we just talked about it. Yeah. But they did say that at least a little directly.
The scene that jumped out to me the most is when the doctor's pulling out the right before the heart attack, when the doctor's pulling out the glass and stuff from his back, and he has the cut rib. Yep. That's like a famous thing from the crucifix, is when someone stabs him with a spear, and that's where they get the myth of the Holy Grail. Sometimes it's from like, there's parallels to the blood of Christ coming out.
I'm not a great Bible expert,
neither one of us are
but
biblical
there is a
scholars
biblical thing with, I think Adam getting his rib removed was a thing. I know that from Mother.
Yeah, but there's a Jesus getting stabbed with the spear at one point.
I think maybe there's a lot with the rib.
Yeah, so there's just these small little parallels I noticed, and I know Darren Aronofsky.
It's real gentle ribbing.
Has a lot of religious tones he brings into his work, and all of his work, not just Mother, but it was just something I never picked up on.
What about Noah? Did he bring much religious into Noah?
Surprisingly, no.
Oh, there you go.
According to a lot of my family members. So,
and then of course, the Ram does have a Jesus tattoo on his back as well.
Does he?
Yeah, a Jesus with like the crown of thorns on his head.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Pretty prominent there.
Well, then also I was thinking like the Ram rhymes with a lamb, which is kind of a silly one, but the Lamb of God. Yeah. So it's almost like that's a very soft connection.
You couldn't have called him like Lonnie the Lamb.
Yeah. Lamb's not a good. Lamb isn't a good wrestler name, but Ram and Lamb are literally the same type of animal.
A ram is just a horny lamb, right?
It's a bighorn lamb, Big Daddy Lamb.
Oh, Big Daddy Lamb would make a good wrestling name. Let's be straight up about that.
I get that. You have a very young Evan Rachel Wood in this film.
Yeah, she looks very unrecognizable compared to her. Westworld is easily her biggest,
like most recent
claim to fame, I would say, as far as like public perception and reception and inception. But you know what's interesting? What? This is another aside. May I?
Go ahead.
Did you watch any of Westworld season 2?
I watched like the first 3 episodes, and then I forgot to keep watching.
I didn't even think about it, and I liked Westworld season 1. I wonder why.
I love season 1. And 3 episodes into season 2, I was like, wonder what else is on. And I just never put it back on.
Yeah, it's always boggled my mind. Now think about how I never watched Westworld season 2 as if there's no more opportunity.
I had a complaint with it, which is... I've said this before about a couple other properties, but if I honestly get that many episodes in and I have no idea what's going on, I don't feel compelled to continue. So it's troublesome on a second season when I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I remember having problems in season 1 with. They had set up this like intricate like Rube Goldberg machine, but then people online like predicted everything that happened.
Yeah.
And I was told everything that was happening.
I had to stop dipping into what people were saying because I had already started piecing together some of it. I wasn't deep level, but I was like, oh, there's definitely some timeline stuff going on.
Right.
That's as far as I got.
I made one prediction that had come true, and I was very happy about that, and that was like my climax.
Which was it?
I was like, Jeffrey Wright's character, definitely a robot. I didn't predict that he'd be like Albert or Infrid or whatever the guy's name was, but Infrid's not a name either. But write it down, please.
Yeah, Infrid.
But I was like, that guy is a robot. And I was right.
Turns out Jeffrey Wright actually is a robot. He's been hiding it for years, like in real life, so...
What?
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's not even method acting. He's just being.
That's just method.
Yeah. So this movie.
Well, what else would Evan Rachel Wood be known for? Because you kind of corrected me and said recently.
I know she got her start in the movie 13. I want to say, which I
don't even know it.
The year it came out was like a big thing.
Wasn't she in 21 as well?
13 was 2003.
It's I believe she was in what was the Beatles music video
film? That's why I know it. Yeah, she was in that the Beatles movie.
What was that one?
Across the Universe.
Across the Universe. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what else she was in.
Yeah, what else? Give me what else.
They usually list movies. Maybe that's just on the phone.
It was over there.
I didn't see it, Scott. You gotta be faster than that.
I like how disappointed in me you were just now. I didn't see it, Scott.
She was in Practical Magic. I've seen it. It's good.
Yeah.
Let's see. 13 was like 2000 something.
I'll just stick with Westworld.
Westworld is one of her biggest ones. I'm just saying, when you pull up IMDb, 13's the first thing that pops up, my friend.
Okay. I still don't know what it... What's number 2 there?
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Probably like what's his face? Woody Allen. I'm guessing that's a Woody Allen movie.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm still going to stick with Westworld.
Woody Allen. Boom.
Is that Larry David?
It is.
Hell yeah. I'm in.
No, I mean, Westworld, like I said, recently. It's the most notable thing.
You keep qualifying it.
She was in True Blood. Everyone knows True Blood.
Okay.
And she was in...
I'm someone who even pays attention, and I know her from Westworld.
Battle for Terra? She dated Marilyn Manson at one point.
She dates Marilyn Manson?
No, not anymore, dude. Give her some credit. She just dated him at one point.
IRL?
Yeah. I don't know. She was in a music video of his, so I assume they were dating. But I think she was dating him. I think she doesn't like him anymore. She was in this movie, Battle for Terra. If you've never seen the trailer, it looks real bad.
Okay.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Well, anyways, Evan Rachel Wood from Westworld is in this.
And 13.
And Whatever Works. And from Marilyn Manson's past.
And Battle for Terra.
But she plays his daughter in this, his estranged daughter.
Yes.
No, sort of estranged, I guess.
He's estranged from her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he took off and abandoned her, and
yeah. So I don't have many issues with this film because it's very good and it's very concise. It's like 110 minutes or something, but it kind of flies by. But one of my issues with it was, and maybe it's just because it would have been awkward to spell out within the plot, but you don't really get a full idea of what happened with their history. Like, did the mother die or just leave?
He said he'd left.
Yeah, but like, where was the mother in this case?
I don't know. I mean, the daughter's an adult in college, so I don't think the mother matters in their scenario.
Well, I still think it would be semi-relevant. I would think.
Well, not if like they're divorced and the mother hates him, or they never got married and the mother
hates
but
to her, like, she has all this anger about him, and rightfully so from the sounds of it, but they like touch on some history because she talks about taking care of him a lot. She has quite a few lines where she's like, I can't take care of you anymore. I can't, like, I'm done with that. But I just, throughout, I was like, I assumed the mother was dead, but they never actually spelled it out.
I don't know. I didn't even get that at all. But I assume, like, maybe they had tried to stay, like he left and abandoned her, but then they maybe had rekindled once or twice. Yeah. And in those scenarios, every time he showed up drunk and high and messed up, and that's what I assumed they were talking about. But...
And in my head, there's a difference in abandoning a child by themselves and abandoning like a mother and a child. Not that either is forgivable, but one is a much more manageable situation. They're both like uphill battles, to abandon a single mother and a child versus to abandon like an 8-year-old by herself.
Yeah, no, and I think the fact that she was willing to still engage with him at points is, to me, why it leans towards she was still with her mom.
Yeah. Well, to me, that's a question that could have been answered just with like a throwaway line.
I gotcha.
And I was wondering about it the entire time. It didn't
cross my mind.
Yeah.
But that's fair. That's fair.
But that was my thing. And then they kind of rekindle things, and then he messes it up again. She's out, and that's that for her character.
For me, they very much painted a good sense of history between them, where she's only in, I think, 3 scenes. She's 3 scenes total. Yeah. So it's the first time she rejects him. She doesn't want anything to do with him. Then they have a long sequence of them kind of rekindling stuff and hashing out some of the issues and him trying his best. And that's during the section where he's really trying to set his life straight. Yeah. And then after that, I mean, he messes up when he goes back to watch wrestling and sees that it's moving on without him and stuff, and his life just sucks.
He gets another taste of being a celebrity, which he definitely likes being known.
Exactly, and in that hooks world, up with that weird firefighter chick, which is probably the funniest part of the movie.
That's definitely the funniest part. That, or when he's trying to buy a gift for his daughter at the store, and he's with Cassidy, and he just picks up like a neon green like Letterman jacket, and he's like, "This is perfect." That was really funny to me.
It was really funny, and his daughter's name's Stephanie, so it had an S on it, so he's like, "This is it." Yeah. And
this is
it. What's best about that is it's an authentic like dad purchase.
Yeah, it's
good
definitely
dad, bad dad out of touch. Regardless, like that's the kind of thing.
Dad who's lost his way buys the shiny Letterman jacket.
Yeah, like I said, I have some my own family issues, but my dad has shown up at any of my siblings' houses with a random gift that none of us fully get. Yeah. Last time,
you're actually wearing your Letterman jacket.
One time, and you love these actually. He dropped by my house and gave me a collectible pair of Miami Vice mugs.
Yeah, I still hope that you throw them away for some reason.
Them to you one day.
I desperately want them. Yeah, they're very cool.
So
they're a good size mug too.
Yeah,
if a mug's
too
small,
big and it's not too small.
If a mug's too small, then you have to do not the right amount of coffee, and for me, coffee is about ratios. It's really, coffee is science.
And there's also those big mugs now that are like almost like soup
super
dishes.
Big. Yeah. And then it's tough because you have to lift it to your mouth, and if it some big mugs will be like big longies, and that's tough to get your ratios right, and some are big whiteys, and that's tough because like when you're sipping, if your pug bumps you, a big whitey, there's lots of spillage.
Yeah.
And that's not great.
There's lots of spillage in this film because Mickey Rourke was actually doing his own razor cutting of his forehead.
Say again?
The razor cuts that he does in the ring. Mickey Rourke, he actually did that himself. Like those were actual cuts he was doing to his forehead. So there's a lot of spillage of blood.
Do you think that was planned?
Yeah, because they're filming it. I think.
Do you think they were like, oh, like Mickey, don't even worry about it. Like, just hold that blade there. It's a toy blade or whatever. It's a fake blade, and we'll add the blood in post. And he was just like, fuck that, and just went for it.
If it was not Darren Aronofsky, I would maybe buy something like that. But I could see Darren being like, I hate to ask you this, Mickey, but would you bleed on camera for real? And Mickey being like, fuck yeah, I would.
In Mother, actually, Jennifer Lawrence did blow that house up.
Yeah, I mean,
like that was authentic. That's why I haven't seen Javier Bardem.
Yeah, the fucker's dead, man.
He's gone. Because Darren Aronofsky's all about that authentic.
Knowing that Mickey Rourke has that boxer background as well, like it kind of makes sense. Yeah. So.
Some of those scenes were vile.
Oh yeah,
it was very hard to watch.
The extreme one is just disgusting.
Like you always hear about like, oh yeah, wrestling's fake. You'll hear about like they do like thumbtack pricks to get themselves bleeding and stuff, and they show him like use the razor blade to like get his face bleeding. That's already a little gross. And then he goes to this one fight that's like Extreme Ultimate Raid. It has like a name, and they're just legitimately torturing each other. And I really hated watching.
And it's funny because the first behind the scenes moment we get of wrestling, it's them like brothers, almost like hashing things out. Like, I'm gonna
that
take
was
you.
fun.
I'll be, you'll be the face. I'll be the heel. I'll hit you. We'll drop.
They're like, how about we do this off the ropes? He's like, you want to go off the ropes? We'll go off the ropes. I don't know whose voice that was.
That was
but
almost
it
Stallone-ish, which also was considered for this movie. But
I could see Stallone doing it more than Cage.
The reason Aronofsky didn't go for Stallone was because Rocky Balboa was around this time period too. Yeah. So he was like, that's too much like it.
Yeah, and he was in the ring in Rocky Balboa. So.
Yeah. So. With that extreme sequence, there was
all sorts of stuff. They were breaking window panes over each other, barbed wire, and I still thought it was going to be fake, like that they were doing the thumbtacks and stuff, and that it wasn't actually barbed wire, but it was legit.
Yeah.
And then after the fight, quote unquote fight, they get back there and there's paramedics working on him. He's literally coated in glass, and then he stands up and he just fucking vomits, and so did I.
This whole not all of it, but this 98 percentiles had probably more vomit moments than you've had.
It's been tough.
Yeah.
The Babadook was bad for me. This was bad for me.
Say anything. Just kidding.
Excuse you.
That was tears you were vomiting, not vomit. The best part of the extreme sequence, though, is the other like funniest moment of the film. For a brief moment, a guy missing his leg with just a prosthetic leg pulls off his leg. He's like, use my leg.
Yeah, he like grabs a chair to hit this guy, and he's like, use my leg. And then the crowd start chanting, use his leg.
Yeah.
Use his leg.
It's great.
It is very funny.
So this movie captures the spirit of wrestling very, very well. And a lot of wrestlers have gone on
especially
record to
this
say
like backwoods
like
wrestling.
Yeah.
There is this weird, well, not weird. There's legitimate communities around like very small stakes, low profile wrestling. Like I listened to a podcast where they talked about, I guess Memphis is very famous for having like a local wrestling league like this where it's the same kind of wrestling as like WWE, but it's just local.
Yeah.
But it's huge there. Like it's like essentially like a tier below WWE just in Memphis.
And I think the reason those exist also is because you can't go superstar status unless you're like an Olympian.
Yeah.
So you have to start somewhere. So a lot of the wrestlers are like, former NFL guys or baseball guys who just washed out, couldn't necessarily do that. Some are Olympian wrestlers who want a new career, need, to get into that. So it's a lot of athletes coming in. Yeah. And then there's some dudes who are just like, I like wrestling. I'm going to get into the local leagues and work my way up.
Yeah.
And some of those weirder body ones, kind of extreme type of dudes, that's where they get their start.
Yeah, there's a movie coming out about sort of this. I forget the name of it. I just saw a trailer for it. Yeah. And it looked weird to me, but it's like a brother and a sister that are big wrestling fans. They get to go to a tryout, and the sister gets called up to be in WWE. Like The Rock is going to be in it. I think he's producing. He might even be directing. I don't know.
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, a Renaissance man. But I just saw the trailer for it, and I wish I could remember any other details because I honestly didn't think it looked very good, and that's why none of it registered to me. But
that makes sense.
It's kind of funny that we're talking about wrestling.
It's funny if you were just watching like wrestling and didn't realize it.
Like, oh my God, The Rock's in this? This is actually a fitting time to announce. You were talking about how some wrestlers transition from other careers, like high-stakes careers. And Max, you are going to be joining the WWE.
Am I?
Yeah. We talked about that, right?
No.
No?
Did you sign me up without telling me, Scott?
Yeah, you're going to be at Rumble in the Cage.
That's 29. A new event they're doing.
Yeah, Rumble in the Cage 2019. Did
you say 2009? Because I hope.
No, I said it's Rumble in the Cage 29.
Okay.
But then you said it was a new event. But yes, so how it works is one upstart wrestler, which will be you now, starts in the cage, and the cage, like a bunch of popular wrestlers, like jump on the outside, and the fans like cheer them to crawl in, and then whoever wins wears the other person's skin.
Sounds really weird, Scott.
Yeah. What's your wrestler name gonna be, Max?
I don't think I'll be participating in that.
What would your wrestler name be if we had to keep up this charade of you not actually being a wrestler?
I don't honestly know. Big Freak. That'd be it. Big Freak.
Big Freak?
Big Freak.
Big Freak. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there one of those like wrestling name generators out there? You know, like your porn star name and stuff?
I mean, I don't see why they could be different. You know?
So I should be Hercules Woodway?
Oh, yeah. That's a great wrestler name. Are you kidding?
It's a better porn name, let's be honest.
Be Herc?
Yeah, give him the Herc.
You could do the Herc Jerk, and either way, it could either be a porn thing or a wrestling thing.
And then, like, for some branding, I could come up with Herky Jerky.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Shit, maybe I'll go to Rumble in the Cage.
I think we found your next
name is
career.
Hercules Woodway. We can do this the easy way or the Wood way.
Boom, you got this all planned out.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe that was you The Rock was calling up on stage.
Shit. It was me. It was. Anyways, what's the plot synopsis for The Wrestler?
This got nominated for a bunch of stuff.
2 Oscars. I like them apples.
It's pretty good.
Best lead actor, best supporting actress.
Marissa.
She's our girl.
She's our girl.
She did lose to Penelope Cruz for Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Makes sense.
Don't know that, but that is a Woody Allen movie.
Yeah.
I don't think that's correct. I'm sorry. You accepted it at face value for a second, and then old Mickey lost to Sean Penn in Milk. I preferred the sequel, Eggnog. Oh,
the
God.
Christmas version of it.
Yeah, of Harvey Milk's biography, the Christmas edition.
In the original screenplay, Stephanie, the daughter, was actually going to approach him after being in AA, going through her 12-step program. It was going to be her reaching out to him, and they changed it to be him reaching out, which I think is better for his character.
Yeah.
Because like this film kind of moves in a couple sequences. It's him being washed out, but working. Like a blue-collar wrestler kind of thing. Once well-known, now he's just in that kind of fan circuit. And then he has the heart attack that we mentioned after the bad fight. And then he's in kind of a redemption period where he's like, I am going to die if I keep doing this. Maybe there is more for me. And a lot of that's driven by Pam/Cassidy saying, like, your family always forgives you, like this and that. He goes, he tries, he fails.
Yeah, there is a couple scenes like at a deli. He works at a grocery store.
Yeah.
There's some shifts in the deli, and he's like, I don't want to talk to people. Can I do something else? And they're like, no, this is all we got. And he kind of like, during his like rise again, when he's like a phoenix reborn, when he's a baby little phoenix, he like really embraces the deli. He's like talking to the older woman, and he's like, what can I get you, sweetheart? And like he's like tossing people ham down the aisles and stuff. He's real happy. And then when it's back to him being like, well, I only belong in the ring. There's nothing else for me out here. He cuts his own fingers on a meat grinder.
Yeah. He shoves his hand into the deli slicer, and because somebody recognizes him as a wrestler.
Yeah.
So
and it just
reminded the dude's being
him.
very belligerent. But
and that was tough for me because I was at one point a first responder
we've
at my local Publix.
Both dealt with that before. Yeah, with deli slicers.
Yeah.
At grocery stores.
Woo!
Ugh.
For me, though, I had to clean up, and the guy got his fingers clean cut off.
I lucked out. It was one finger.
Yeah.
Just a single finger.
Yeah.
She cut off the tip. Just the tip.
Just the tip.
She was cutting roast beef, though, so I didn't eat roast beef for a couple years.
That'll do it. I still don't eat cold cuts.
When you see the blood all around the roast beef, and roast beef, when it comes out the container, is just bloody, you just don't know what's going on. We threw out quite a lot of money on roast beef that day.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, for sure.
But what's cool
it would be really hard to cut off more than just the tips of your fingers. You'd have to be doing an extremely thick cut of meat.
Yeah.
And then get your hand stuck in there and then get a full blade rotation.
Or if it was like a slicer made of like mithril or something really strong and light, and just cut right through them bones.
Yeah. Publix has not started using mithril meat slicers now. That's why you exclusively eat at Kroger.
Yeah. The first scene though, the happy version of the deli scene was improv.
Oh, really?
Darren was just like, we're going to roll.
Get that. Yeah.
You just do your thing, man. They were real customers. Apparently, it was at an actual grocery store.
Funny. Do you think many of them recognized Mickey Rourke?
I at the time I wonder because he'd been out of the limelight,
and he's not like a chameleon in that like he fits into all those roles, but he's had so many different looks. I feel like, and this look is very odd.
Yeah,
with the long blonde hair,
like
and platinum blonde.
Hat, though.
So I could easily see not recognizing.
Yeah, no, I mean I could see that. I could see just thinking like that guy looks kind of familiar, but you've seen that dude everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the big beefy guy who works at a grocery store, or whatever. He could work at a garage.
Yeah, that's how they used to describe me. Actually, they said, "We'll get our big beefy to help you out with that propane tank."
Big beefy. Oh. That's that could be your backup wrestler name. For
propane tank.
Oh well, that's a good one too. But I was saying big beefy.
Yeah.
Propane tank is good though. If you say it that way.
I feel like it'd have to be like
it's propane.
Ooh, that's another angle because like propane is not the most. It's not the most intimidating gas to use.
When you say it though, there's so much
propane. What it takes is an extra pause in the middle. Try it.
Propane. Yeah.
Yeah. You emphasize the P and you add more pause. Let's see how deep I can go. Ready? Propane. Too much. That was actually too much.
It is too much.
Yeah. This movie did good. It did good at the box office.
There was some buzz, I remember. Some buzz.
6 mil budge. If you had to go get Nicky Cage or Sly, that budge is dubs.
Oh, for sure.
But it made 26 mil domestic.
Nice.
That'll line the pockets pre-Mother.
Yeah. It's an interesting career for that Darren guy because...
well, he's just an interesting guy.
Yeah. I really enjoy watching his work, even though there's certain movies of his that I'll never revisit, like Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
I'll never watch that again.
I can't remember. We'd have to ask former podcast guest John, because he and I watched it together for my first time.
Yeah.
And I think I actually vomited watching it.
I could see that.
I either just gagged and looked away, or I might have gotten to actual vomit.
There's some scenes in there that are worth that. He did a movie called Pie that I actually enjoy. I do like Pie.
What's your favorite pie?
Ooh, that's a big question.
Yeah. Chew on it. Think on it.
I've had actually a really good blueberry pie one time. It's a rarity.
You usually only hear about blueberry cobbler.
Yeah, this was a pie, though.
I don't get the difference.
I mean, what's the difference in general? It's pie crust versus cobbler.
No, I legitimately don't get the difference between a pie and a cobbler.
Oh. I think the shell is like a little firmer in a pie. Like the shell retains its shape, while in a cobbler, it's like a layer of pastry. I feel like
the webbing, kind of the latticing.
I honestly don't.
You know where they do like the crisscross applesauce.
Yeah, I mean you could do that in a pie, but the pie has the shell, the pie crust on the bottom.
And so you're saying a cobbler doesn't have that?
I don't think cobblers have that on the bottom. I don't really know though. I feel like cobbler crust or whatever you call it is a little bit more fluffy.
And I feel like
it's a little less dense than a pie crust.
It's not like you can't like make any pie a cobbler. Like you don't hear about pumpkin cobbler.
Yeah.
Only certain, like you hear about a blueberry cobbler, you hear about a peach cobbler. That's really the big two.
I'm trying to think if I've heard any other cobblers.
I feel like I've heard apple cobbler before, but not much.
We've heard of a shoe cobbler. Somebody who makes shoes, isn't it?
Yeah.
We had a friend the other day who mixed up the two. So.
That was very funny.
Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah. Now what was Darrenowski's like biggest wide release? Because this had a limited release. Mother did have a wide release, but it was a massive flop.
Mother and Noah might be the two
I was
biggest,
wondering
like,
about
advertised.
Noah. Yeah, so Noah's easily his biggest release, big wide.
For sure.
Mother, I know, had a wide release, but it was a big flop.
How much of a flop was Mother?
I'm pretty sure it didn't make its money back.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that.
I mean, it's fitting. Yeah, we're talking 30 mil on that mother budget and 17 mil domestic. So
it's a mother budget.
A mother of all budgets. But
yeah,
he's definitely an auteur.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's what I like though is between his films, other than a lot of religious parallels and stuff.
Yeah.
There's not much that I would stop and be, like with the Tarantino movie, you can tell it's Tarantino because he makes it a Tarantino movie. Same with Wes Anderson. We've talked about them endlessly.
Yeah, Michael Bay.
With him, I mean, even with Michael Bay, he very much has a voice.
And that can be a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, but with Aronofsky, it's almost like it's not a really loud voice always, but I know that whatever's within the work is very much, it all feels right for the work.
Yeah.
So it's very much in tune with whatever his vision is, but he doesn't have like a outward voice in that sense.
Not like a consistent throughout
every picture, exactly. Yeah. Within the film, yes, but outside of between each one, all I can think of is a lot of, like I said, of religious ties.
Right. Yeah.
I remember a lot of people were angry about Noah because it wasn't a religious, necessarily like Christian Bible version of the story. But
I still haven't seen it.
It's as much a Noah film you can get out of a Jewish atheist art house director.
The big three.
Yeah. So if you've ever wondered what that would be like, it's exactly what it would be like.
Here's a joke. Ready? A Jew, an atheist, and what was the last one?
Art house.
Jew, an atheist, and an art house director walk into a bar. The bartender says, "What can I get you, Darren?"
That's actually pretty good. You should keep it.
That's not good.
No, you could drop that whenever someone brings up Noah, and you'll probably get a laugh if they're a film person.
You didn't laugh.
I'll laugh.
You didn't just
because I witnessed it born. You don't laugh at the birth of something.
Do you not laugh at the birth of a joke? You laughed more at the concept of the birth of a joke than the birth of that joke.
For some reason, saying the birth of a joke is really funny.
The birth of a joke could be the name of that could be the name of like a Donald Trump biography. Nice. The birth of a joke. Guys, he's still got it. Zing!
There he is.
That's what the vlog is going to get you, folks. Fart you later.
That's your first book written about your
Fart you later.
vlog. Fart you later.
Man, a book written about a vlog.
Well,
what a strange
how it
idea.
Your comedy career.
I'm already a comedian. You just witnessed the birth of a joke, sir.
You get your haircut this week, Scott?
No, it was last week. I know what you want, and I won't give it to you.
So you're kind of like, Randy here at the end of the movie, like we said earlier.
Yeah, that's a good tie together.
So we see in the film that he tries to go on a date with Pam. They do go on a date, kind of.
He kind of forces the issue. He makes it a date.
He forces her hand for sure.
Yeah.
But she does have a good time, and then the romance kind of blossoms, and she realizes right away she can't date a customer, so she runs off.
Yeah.
But then that's kind of when his hardships kick in. After that, they have a big fight. He's a huge jerk to her, but he's using her words against her, which is both like you could see it. He's moving from a place of being hurt himself.
Yeah.
And she's kind of taken aback by it, but obviously she still had feelings, is still trying to work through them.
For sure.
So it's kind of a big turnaround there where she does approach him, like we said, and tries to make amends. And, she has a very heartfelt talk with him saying, like, I'm here. This is me.
She's very authentic.
Like, I've quit everything else. Like, I can be this. Yeah. And, he's kind of sweet back to her, but then walks away and goes to the wrestling. And I think it's interesting. I've heard before with writing that if you're going to have a happy ending, your movie should start kind of happy, get really, really dark, and then get back to happy. And then with sad movies, they always say, do the opposite. Start sad, get happy, go back to sad. And I've never really noticed it like so outwardly. You could kind of catch it in some films, but
yeah, I'm trying to think.
This one like kind of hits those beats perfectly without feeling like on the nose at all. Yeah. Like it all kind of works in that sense. Yeah. So, and I think a lot of that comes from the fact that they write Randy to be very sympathetic.
Yeah.
But
they definitely do.
Like you're with him the whole time, even though he's messing up. It's fully understandable. So it's very interesting because, like I said, for me, I have some personal issues that tie very tightly to this, but I think this character is so sympathetic, and I think anyone watching it can easily get his struggles that he's going through. And
it's a big success of any movie that is like a very personal study like that, where you're rooting for the character even as they like totally screw up.
Yeah.
Like Manchester by the Sea does a really good job of that too, where Casey Affleck's character, like, he's doing his best. He's obviously broken. And then at the end, he gets in another like bar fight just because like he kind of wants to feel pain.
Yeah.
But like you really are like, instead of being like, oh, you idiot, you're just like, oh.
And even with The Spectacular Now, they had a lot of there too. So
yeah, for sure.
the films that could tap
and
into
The Wrestler
that,
does that really well too.
Yeah. It's I think it's kind of the success of any movie that's a character study.
Yeah.
That has a shitty character as their study, because we know that he has a big heart and that at his core, somebody wants to be good.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is on the performance.
Yeah.
Like, you have to show the charisma and that, like, capacity for good, even though your character's not doing good things.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge.
Yeah, and like we said, Mickey Rourke, he acts the hell out of this role. And so
he owns it,
it's interesting to see. I want to see more of Mickey Rourke doing stuff like this, and I hope he continues eventually to show up and do. He just kind of pops up here and there.
Yeah,
but,
you see him sometimes.
You know, as long as he's happy and healthy, that's good too. That's, I mean, you know,
H&H.
he's had a hard life at points.
H&H Block.
But no, it's one of my favorite films, honestly. I think if I had
I mean, you also definitely have a personal tie to it.
Yeah, for sure. And not only that, but I used to watch wrestling about like 1997.
Oh, okay. Who was your wrestler?
I was very much into The Rock was actually kind of big, like getting big at that point. It was The Rock and Stone Cold going back and back all the time. Yeah. I really enjoyed watching DX to Generation X, but my wrestler, my go-to guy, my number one guy is always Mankind, who's kind of like the extreme stuff in here.
Well, he threw The Undertaker, I don't remember the meme, like into a table from 18 feet at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. He had a sock puppet named Mr. Socko that he would shove in people's mouths. Oh. He's a really amazing person, actually, beyond wrestling. Like, he's a good volunteer.
A lot of wrestlers
and stuff,
are. I feel like you see so much, like, Make-A-Wish and just general charity and stuff from these guys who are totally revered by kids, and it's really cool to see.
It's cool because I'm not dissing any other athlete, but it's so easy to get into that, you know, headspace of that you're like almost a god on earth in certain fields, and some wrestlers obviously get that way, and then some don't, but they kind of have all the health issues that like a bodybuilder would have, which is a lot. And they have as many issues as any other athlete because they're tossing their bodies around. Yeah. But then they are these big, giant personalities.
Larger than life to an extent.
Yeah, they play villains or heroes, and they're kind of like superheroes, basically. So
yeah, and I think it's a cool duality between, like, you could argue this, but like the very masculine nature of wrestling and like toughness and being big, and then like having a big heart outside of it. It's like a cool duality to me.
Yeah, it's almost like paternal, maternal instincts just come naturally to them. It's very interesting. And I've actually seen a lot of interviews with a bunch of wrestlers recently, and that backs up what you're saying completely. So it's
I never got into wrestling as a kid.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
People are into it again now. It's like,
I know it's kind of at a resurgence.
Yeah,
let's go to the next wrestling event in our city.
Like, it kind of cycles back and forth. Yeah. So, I wonder what the.
Do you think part of the impetus is that like The Rock and John Cena and stuff are becoming more than just wrestlers? Like, The Rock obviously is an A-list actor. Yeah. John Cena's pretty much there if he's not already.
He's getting there.
Like, he's had a few good roles, and now he's like leading actor and stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's a big part of it.
And then Was Batista a wrestler?
Oh yeah.
I thought so.
And he's really interesting because he's a legitimately great actor.
He's made it his goal to become like not just an A-lister, but become like a actor.
Not to like besmirch The Rock, who I actually think Dwayne Johnson's a great actor too, but he's definitely doing blockbusters and paycheck movies.
The Rock has followed the Will Smith model that you mentioned earlier. Everyone loves him kind of thing.
And I just want to be clear. I didn't mean anything negative towards Will Smith.
No.
But
I don't think so at all.
What's interesting about Dave Bautista is he is essentially like carving out like a character actor role in my eyes. Like, his spot in Blade Runner 2049 is incredible. One of the highlights of that movie. I just rewatched it the other day. But he's this huge, larger than life guy, and like you can see that in Guardians of the Galaxy. But I think he's gonna be a really good actor. We're gonna see.
So far, he's been really good.
I'm gonna call it right now. Okay, Dave Bautista's gonna get a Golden Globe nom.
For what?
I don't know, but prior to...
Dude, if you could name the work before it even came out, I was ready. Okay. I was ready.
Okay, I will. All right, ready? It's going to be a movie called The Fiddler's Touch.
Okay.
And it is a modern retelling of Fiddler on the Roof. Is that a thing, Fiddler on the Roof?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
Yeah. It's going to be directed by... it's going to be directed by Luca Guadagnino, who did the new Suspiria and who did Call Me by Your Name. Luca Guadagnino.
We're going to leave it at that because I don't know.
It's coming out in 2022.
All right.
And Dave, no, but the statement I was going to make before I doubled down on what did I just call it?
Fiddler's Touch.
The Fiddler's Touch.
Which you think is maybe based off of the Fiddler on the Roof, if that's a thing.
Yeah, if that's a thing. Let's be clear. I was just going to say, I think he'll be the first wrestler/athlete turned actor to get a Golden Globe nom. And now that I'm saying that, I don't even know if that'll be true. I'm sure there's been athletes turned actors who have done it.
Well, I can name at least a boxer turned actor that got nominated for some stuff.
Who you got?
Mickey Rourke.
Oh, he doesn't count.
Damn it!
I'm talking A-list actor wrestler. No, A-list athlete wrestler turned A-list actor. Mickey Rourke, I don't think was A-list boxer.
All right.
Yeah. You know what?
I ain't getting in the ring with him.
Mickey Rourke.
I ain't getting in the ring with him.
No, it's not to imply that Mickey Rourke couldn't beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, he definitely
It's just
could.
to say, like...
Guys, he definitely could.
It's... Dude. It's just to say that, like, Mickey Rourke wasn't in the ring with, Tyson. Mike Tyson.
When I saw Mickey Rourke in the Enrique Iglesias video for Hero, I knew from that day on I never want to get beat up by him. He beats Enrique to death. Jennifer Love Hewitt's crying.
Anything that makes JLH cry is too sad for me.
He just beats his ass, leaves him in the middle of the desert to die.
And some say he did die. Max, where can the good people find us?
You can find us starting up our tag team wrestling duo.
I'm the propane tank.
And I'm Big Freak. And you can also find us at thecriticalbreakdown.com. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. Yeah. We're on Facebook.
Yeah.
We're on
Periscope.
Sometimes we're on Periscope. We're
we're
on
Vine
2 whenever that gets launched. We're on 2019's YouTube Rewind. Catch us next year.
Catch us there. We'll be in the Fortnite 2 paragliders.
Yeah. You can find me trying to convince Marissa Tomei to go on a date with me.
I think you've used that one before.
Probably. What was the last movie she was in?
I don't know.
She was in something we did.
Yeah.
Or you can find me at Max Rivera Film on Twitter.
You can find me convincing young boys to play NES video games with me.
Definitely used that one before.
Or you can find me on Instagram at breakdown_Scott. Or you can find me on Twitter at breakdown_Scott. Or you can find me on Letterboxd at Stenon2. Or you can find me in my new vlog at youtube.com/thecriticalbreakdown.
I don't think that's the address.
What?
They don't give addresses till you get a lot of followers.
What's our address then? We got to have something.
Bunch of numbers and letters.
Really?
Yeah, that's how they do it now.
No wonder we weren't in Rewind.
Yeah.
We're still on bunch of numbers letters.
You can find me here, Scott. It's me. I'm here.
Yeah. You can find our music having been done by Jason Brown.
And our artwork has been done by Josh Rivera.
Yeah. Walter's the podcast wrestler.
We're
the podcast wrestlers.
Next week on The Critical Breakdown,
we're going to soak up some California sun. We're watching LA Confidential.
That's Chinatown, Jake.
Rated 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. 99! Holy shit!
It's almost there, folks.
Sorry about the 90, everyone.
It's a short-term thing.
Yeah. We decide now.